The John, Anik, and Kenny Florian Podcast. John, Anik, and Kenny Florian.
I fucking love them. I can't get enough of them.
Let's hear that Boston next.
Big jab there from Duffy, and Frank Mir is hurt now. Down goes Duffy, out cold. Frank Mir does it again. Rock'em sock'em robots here. Oh my goodness.
Hyperbole.
There are a couple of absolutely self-involved bullshit artists.
Here are your hosts, John, Anik, and Kenny Florian.
Not the way I dress.
We're streaming.
Yeah,
now.
let's go, baby. What
Sunday,
a night.
June 19th,
What a night.
2022.
Holy
Happy Father's
shit.
Day if that
Woo.
applies. It's episode 353 of the Anik and Florian Podcast. We got Longo dressed up off the top because he's got places to go. Happy Father's Day to the Godfather. What do you
Oh,
Was it a new one or is it the same one?
if I buy these things
got a
like Tic
couple.
Tacs. I
Look at
buy
this
these like
guy.
Tic Tacs. Guys know
If
who I
you're
am?
all only, Ray is showing off a gold Rolex.
Well, yeah. This could be yours, too.
Well, it seems like this like Instagram hack is like a front.
Oh,
right?
let me tell you something. You guys notice ever since that hack, crypto just went in the toilet?
It
Yeah.
did.
Dude, I tell you,
did.
and people are blaming me now.
Oh, I can't imagine what
God.
Ken Close mentions look like when it gets down to 20,000.
Oh, it's
So
God.
it's good to see you. Where your daughters or your wife taking you tonight, if you don't mind my asking.
We're going to a place called Mocha Bistro over in
Okay.
Woodbury. Yeah,
All
very nice.
Have you been there? But it sounds like you've been there before.
Oh yeah, I love the place.
All right. So what do you know what you're ordering, or might there be a special that fucking you wet the beak with, or what? I mean, what are we eating tonight?
We'll figure it out when we get there.
All right,
What
well,
are we
that's
gonna
exciting.
make this about what I'm eating now?
I mean, do you just want
People
me to
wanna
get
know.
right into Calvin fucking Cater? Is that
Oh,
what you want?
man. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it is interesting, right? Like in terms of burying the lead. We could just talk about mixed martial arts then. Jesus, man.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, what
all right.
a night. First of all, you know what? We were talking in the
fights.
gym today, and there were so many good fights you forget about because every freaking fight was just great. It's one of those nights that happens every so often that you just go, wow. I mean, even just wow.
Yeah.
Any
And-
fight. You could pick any fight.
Well, I guess we'll pick the main event since it sounds like your time might be short. What
No, I'm
what'd you
good.
think
I'm
of the main
good for a
event?
half hour. Yeah, look, I had Cato win. I'll tell you what I saw, and I'll tell you why I think he won. But there were a couple of things I didn't like. But I saw a guy with perfect use of the jab. I thought he controlled the whole fight with the jab. Every so often, he put in the elbows and the right hands. And I saw another guy exploding, and Cato looked like he was covering every punch, but getting pushed back a little bit from the force of it because the guy's explosive, but nothing cleanly hitting at all. And that's the way I would have scored the fight. I had the fight going to Cato, but, I think he could have did more. That's the problem. But I thought he just controlled that fight with the jab for the most part and was never in trouble. Not that the other guy was either, but I just thought he landed the cleanest shots. I don't know. Is it me? I mean, I didn't. That was
No.
just. But I was already crazy by the time that fight happened because so many crazy knockouts and stuff. But that's the way I saw it.
Longo is 88 years old and he's still sharp as a tack. It's unbelievable. No, listen, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, Kenny. But
No, listen. No, Ray is spot on. That's the way I saw it. And that's the thing. If you're watching a fight live, you can't see all the angles. And I would think that if you're seeing, Kattar get backed up by a shot, and if you don't have the right angle, you don't have the luxury of seeing it on the monitor, you think he's getting tagged with these shots and getting backed
definitely
up.
wasn't.
And Ray is absolutely correct. Those shots are skimming off the elbow, the arms, the top of the head. I didn't see them landing clean. It looks impressive because Emmett is so damn fast and powerful.
Yeah.
I don't want
Right.
to take that away from him.
100%.
And some of those shots were landing, but not a lot of those shots. And I think that was the difference. And I think the judges were coming away with thinking that he was landing a lot of those shots when he just wasn't. It was a close fight.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I had a problem with it as well. I thought Kattar won.
And I don't want to take away from Emmett. He fought great too. I mean, it was a good fight. That's the way I saw it. And look, I've been in there with bigger guys that you kind of get. It's not a snapping punch. You get pushed, like, you know what I mean, and you lose your balance a little bit, but never nothing that changed the dynamic of the fight. Unless Kattar was holding back because he didn't want to get hit clean with any of those shots. But I thought Kattar was a little off based on what I heard in the corner. But I thought he won that fight. And again, it's exactly for what I said. I thought he controlled that whole fight with the jab. The guy couldn't get out of the way of that jab. He was busting him up, and the elbows were landing. A couple of those right hands were clean. Tell me what shot Emmett landed clean. Do we see anything?
Well, I mean, that's one man's take. I'll be honest.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that's fair, right? I mean, I'm happy for Josh. I was watching it I was watching it on mute on my phone, putting a child to bed, thinking this is the greatest fight I've ever seen. These guys are absolute warriors. And yet I knew come Monday morning, everybody would be talking about the scoring. It would be a close fight, as it often is at the elite levels. I guess I saw more landing from Emmett than you did. But again, I think you're right. Like the combination of speed and power from Josh is a real thing. And, I don't know, I guess early in the fight, like some of these fighters, as trite as it sounds, will say late in these fights, like, who wants it more? And sometimes I do think it can come down to that. And Kattar came on strong when mid-fight I was like, man, nobody wants it more than Emmett tonight. People might want it as badly, but that dude wants it really fucking badly. And it might even not result in a championship opportunity. I don't know. I thought it was a close fight as these main events are.
I think it was one of those things. It's optics. It really is. It was optics. And I went through this with Aljo with his fight. His first fight with Jan, like when he would get tripped down, the optics just made it look, he might have been going with it, but the optics made it look like he was flip-flopping all over the place. And that's the first thing we wanted to change was we're not doing that anymore. We can't, because I hate to do this, but you do have to take into what you think the judges are seeing, right? It is a game at the end of the day. And the optics are very important, how you handle yourself and, the ring generalship, that stuff like that. So I think that's what they saw. They saw a guy getting pushed like kind of off balance. And again, I don't want to take away. It was a great fight. I don't want to. I hope I'm not doing. I'm just saying that's what I saw. That's it.
So, as some of our listeners know, on June 24th, a lot of the UFC commentators are going to be sitting down for a seminar with referees and judges and going over some scoring. And I don't really want to get into details, and I don't know all the details. But obviously anyone who has watched this show or listened to this show knows that we're sort of invested in all of that stuff. And so when there's a fight like this that's close and, people bring up a specific scorecard, in this case, I believe it's Chris Lee and his round 4 scorecard, Kenny, oftentimes people go nuts, but I just think generally speaking, within the confines of our criteria, it seems like at this point in time, damage is the buzzword. And, I don't know, man. Like I think we just have to sort of accept that there are going to be close fights, and until there's real change, like open scoring. So then is Calvin Kattar supposed to like completely change his tactics after a really good round 4 and round 5 because now he needs a fucking knockout? I just think it's open scoring is asking a lot of these fighters, man.
Right.
Kempfl, what do you think?
Yeah, listen, I thought the first 2 rounds were the close ones, right? And
right.
For someone like Sal D'Amato who had round 2 for Emmett, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is Chris Lee calling round 4 for Josh Emmett, because I thought that was probably the most clear round for Kattar. I mean, the spinning elbow, he buckled him with the knee, he hit him with a lot of hard shots. Like, I don't know how you could score that for Emmett, to be honest. 4 and 5 I thought were really clear for Kattar. And I had rounds 1 and rounds 3 for Emmett, and I had rounds 2, 4, and 5 for Kattar.
I think that's the way a lot of people saw it. Yeah. Ray, I guess you were probably there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. And to your whatever you're going to on the 24th, here's what I would do. Like, the rules are the rules, right? Guys made the rules. We stick to the rules. I get that. Yeah. But as far as scoring, this is what I'd take every champion from every division and sit them in a room so they could tell you, like, having your back taken sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
That's the difference. I don't care. I don't want them to tell me how to score. Rules are different, but scoring, they just don't know, John. They don't know. Just like me and Kenny talk, they don't know what it's like to cover a punch that's not a snapping punch, but a pushing punch. They don't know that. Fighters could tell you, this is what I think. And I guarantee if you get them together, they should be dictating the way fights are scored. That's what I would do. I don't want to listen to a judge tell me how to, what's damage and what's not damage. What the fuck is that? Now, the rules, I get. That's why the ref has to get in there and go by the rules. The judging, I think they have to follow criteria, but that criteria, I believe, should be set by guys that have been in there the last 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. Cut it up, and put it on a soundboard. I mean, yes, like Kenny, that's what needs to happen, but that's like pushing a reset button on the whole thing, which is just not going to happen.
I think they'll come up with some common ground. They can make some nice changes easy. I think it's an easy fix.
Because for me, it's like I'm trying to respect the criteria and the education that comes with putting people on the same page. But for me, at the end of the day, it's like I want to know after 5 minutes what Kenny Florian and Daniel Cormier think as to who won that round. I don't really care much
100%.
about.
Listen,
yeah.
DC tells Jay, son, you got controlled, buddy. I believe in that.
Right. Well, right.
You know what I'm saying? He knows.
I know. And we're not talking about octagon control for the record. We're talking about effective grappling.
Right. And that's my point with the judges. Let me hear how you scored that fight, because that'll tell me a lot. If we don't hear, like, what are they going to do? Behind closed doors now? That's a joke. I want to hear after the fight how you, and then we could determine, okay, this guy's fucking crazy, period. He has no clue. Somebody came out with an article, who's a blue belt? Who's a blue belt? I mean, that's a start, Kenny. No, it's a start. And I like that your head's into it, but
it's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. But you got to be fucking kidding me, man. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really don't want to hear from anybody, who doesn't have the right.
I want to sell white belt tears mugs on our website. Go ahead.
That's amazing. That's hilarious, dude. That's a great idea. Ray's on fire today. Listen, because here's the thing. Who are we trying to appease? Are we trying to appease, or are we trying to make the fighters feel better and feel like it's a more fair process? I think they're kind of, again, I'm coming from a biased perspective, and Ray probably is too, but like, we've been in this sport. We've seen guys, work their asses off and have one fight change the whole trajectory of your career. It really could be like that. And, I think we want to have the fighters feel like they're getting a fair shake, right? I think, and I think having this is a good step forwards, but why aren't the fighters involved in telling the judges
without a doubt?
Especially the grappling portion of this fight where, okay, you might not like it, but if I'm on your back for the majority of that fight, even
without a doubt
or not, I'm telling you where this fight is taking place. You cannot just get up and get back to your feet or do what you want.
And nobody's going to disagree with you, Ken. Nobody's going to disagree with that.
So I think some kind of common ground needs to take place. And like Ray said it best, why are these judges who haven't had any time in the sport telling us their interpretation of how these fights should be scored?
No,
that's like a guy saying the other night, it's just a jab. It's just a jab. The guy's whole face was busted up.
Right.
Yeah, what is that? That's not the power punch. That punch sets up for the power. I mean, dude, it's insanity, Kenny. It's fucking insanity. Trust me. I'm in the gym every day watching guys go at it. You know what I mean? It's nuts. And not that I've never fought, but I got 1,000 rounds of sparring.
Oh, don't. Yeah.
I'm not making shit up. Like when I'm telling you to do something, I've been in there. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to get tired. I know what it feels like.
You've been a martial artist longer than most people have been alive. Yeah.
Right. And get my bell rocked. You know, it's not like, again, it's not rocket science, but I would respect it. Like, I don't know. I'll use just DC as an example. If that guy, and it might be, you might not agree, but that guy says something, you got to respect it. That's it. You have to respect it.
Well,
you don't have to agree with it, but you have to respect
Dominic
it.
Cruz, all these
anybody
guys.
On Cruz,
but you're suggesting that it's an easy thing, right, to affect change when it comes to the scoring criteria, as if all of a sudden we're just going to get all these elite fighters and all right, you guys are going to affect change and we'll all help write it, and it just doesn't work that way.
Well, it's a start though, Kenny. I mean, John, it's a start, and I think it's not. You got to remember, the judges technically have to be told what's effective and what's not effective because they don't know if they've never been. How do you know? How would you know?
Fair.
Right? How do you know if a guy's on your neck, how it is to defend the choke? How do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a million things, or what it's like to roll a punch or slip a punch or there's so many things going on in there that are beautiful that you got to just get in there. I'm telling you, it would be a start. I'm not saying it's an easy start though. They could start by doing it, and they could have ongoing education, and you could keep going over fights. But if you keep hiding behind the athletic commission and not letting us know what you think, that's bullshit. Oh, they're gonna let you know what they think in a seminar? No, that's not good. Yeah. Come out right after the fight. Let's have transparency. And it's not that bad thing. You might have to go down to the farm leagues for a couple of months and think about shit. It's not that bad. But
no, I mean,
you see, nobody wants it. They don't want to do it, John, because if they admit they're wrong, then they feel they're open up for some liability, right? Because we live in such a litigious society. Everybody wants to sue everybody. Right. And that's where, so they're going to hold their ground. They're doubling down. Oh, we did nothing wrong. It's pretty, if you look at it, it's pretty sad.
And you're watching this sport as Kenny is with the keenest of eyes and probably seeing a lot more than I'm even seeing in terms of both parties landing at the same time or not landing. But again, for me, and maybe I'm too close to it, right? But unless Josh Emmett knocks Calvin Kattar's head off, right? It feels like this is the way we go more often than not on these main events. And I just kind of want to celebrate Josh a little bit. And maybe we could spend seconds doing that, right? Comes back from his left leg just being fucking destroyed, right? Beats Dan Ige, granted on points, beats Calvin Kattar, granted in a close fight. And I'm not even suggesting that he shouldn't have to get through Arnold Allen, even though I like seeing the older guys get a title fight, but it just seems to me like, you're going to be hard pressed to find a lot of people talking about like Josh Emmett's win. Because to Kenny's point, like, I'm not going to sit here. I'm a Boston guy, right? I want to see Calvin Kattar on a fucking duck boat through the streets. They can go to fucking Methuen after, but I mean, I thought it was a close fight. Like
it was a close. I think it was a close fight for sure. And again,
I think Josh Emmett had to win round 5. Like when I'm half watching, I did. But I don't know.
I mean, the guy's 37. He still got it. He's still game. I love it. All the recovery stuff he's doing. He's into it. It looks like he's a student of the game. Look, hats off to him for sure.
So Kenny hates when I talk about these like championship setbacks, right? But this was a huge swing fight flow for this division, right? You have Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega fighting in a main event 2 weeks after Holloway and Volkanovski. And who knows if we're going to get clarity with Holloway and Volkanovski. I know we've never had like a 4th fight, and we were very close with Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. I'm not convinced we're getting finality and closure on July 2nd with those two, but what do you do, Ken Flo, with Josh Emmett? He moves forward. For Calvin Kattar, obviously, this is going to be about an 18-month championship setback, I would think.
Yeah, listen, it's tough. I think for Emmett, I mean, what's he ranked right now?
He'll move into the top 4, and then, I guess Arnold Allen is a name that's out there. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be octagon side Josh Emmett on July 2nd as he desires to be, but he's in the mix.
I would definitely say he's in the mix. I think that either of those guys, even for Calvin Kattar, again, on paper he lost, but did he? I don't know. But both those guys, if it's Emmett in there, why shouldn't he not get the next shot? And then maybe Kattar and Arnold Allen get it on, I don't know.
It is interesting. We do have precedents, Ray, for people getting championship fights off of losses. So I suppose, can you imagine? I mean, no fucking way. You never know though, Ken. You never fucking know.
If that didn't put the nail in Marlon Moraes' grave, nothing did.
Yeah.
I tell you, when he won, they beat Aldo, and Aldo got the title shot. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I have other things that we could obviously
let's go.
I think we kind of exhausted that. So it looks like Merab Dvalishvili might have a fight against an absolute legend. Maybe he should call Ken Flo in terms of advice for preparing for the king of Rio de Janeiro.
He'll be just fine.
Yeah, Kenny, how long ago did you fight him?
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
October 2011, dude.
Wow, I mean, think about this.
Over 10 years.
This is what a legend. This is what a legend Jose Aldo is, man.
Crazy.
If he could keep up with Merab, God bless him. I mean, he's been around forever. You know what I mean? But
you at least got to start calling him Jose. I think in the lead up to this fight, at least give him the respect of calling.
No, the guy. One of my favorite fighters, Jose Aldo. So
living
That's
legend. And with respect to Ken Flo, I think Merab's getting a better version, so.
I don't know
He's
about
good,
that.
dude.
I don't know
he's
about.
good.
He's getting a smarter. He's getting a guy that's adjusted to where he's at in his career for sure, and he looks like he's fighting very, very smart. Not as reckless. Not that he was reckless, but he went for some. He has some crazy highlight knockouts. But Kenny, I think, got him in his prime.
Yeah, I think probably in his physical prime, but I do think there's aspects of Aldo's game that are more technical.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He's obviously the experience factor is
Without a
insane that
doubt.
he has now. But yeah, I think physically, and that's why I think this is such a fascinating fight, because Merab is in his absolute physical peak, and where we've seen Jose Aldo fail or struggle is when you're in his face and you make him keep his foot on the gas pedal for each and every round, and that's when guys start to pull away in round 4 and round 5. And Merab, obviously, as we know, has that gas tank where he can go forever. Now, this is going to be a 3-rounder, right? This is going to be a 3.
I think I heard 3 rounds. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So 3-rounder. So, but still, Merab can keep a pace, which is just ridiculous that very few people in the world can keep. And again, that's where you can tire out someone like a Jose Aldo and then get him late in the fight. So I'm fascinated with the fight. I think it's an awesome fight.
Yeah, great fight for Merab too. And it's funny because Kenny, that there's a lot of guys, they go for a takedown. If they have to expend energy, they just back out. They don't want to expend the energy. This is a guy that just doesn't give a shit.
He won't stop.
He'll do it 20 times in a row. So it's not like let's try to wear him out. And no, that's not happening. So very exciting.
My script says to ask you if this is the toughest matchup for Merab in that top 7, but I don't know that I'd get an answer. I mean, do you think this is a tougher matchup than Cruz or Sandhagen or one of those guys that might have come down the pike? I mean, at one point you told me Merab and Cruz, he was signed, my man.
I did.
Fucking
I didn't say
signed.
Fake news.
I don't know if I used the word signed.
No, you're right. You did not.
I did think the fight was going to happen, but I don't even know if this fight is signed, to be honest with you. But I know they're fighting. But that's 2 different things. Listen, this is not an easy fight. This guy's
you're
on
the underdog. You're the underdog against Jose Aldo. No, I haven't seen an opening line. I think you're the underdog against the King of Rio. We'll see.
I don't know about that. That's going to come in kind of even, I think.
All right. I'm just sort of knocking you around. So a couple other performances to highlight. It does seem like there's a date, by the way, for Aljo and TJ Dillashaw as well, for the record. I don't know if that crossed your wake.
That's what I'm hearing.
Salt Lake City for Merab, though. You're going to make your way to Utah. Maybe we'll go on a hike together.
Oh yeah, I'm big with the Mormons.
I'm even more
too.
fucking annoying in person. So
I'm very popular with the Mormons.
I bet you are.
I'll tell you what we do. Let's go for a bike ride. I've been biking a lot lately.
I can tell, man. Your face is looking lean, man.
Oh,
looking
man.
lean. You're gonna have a good dinner. What are you drinking tonight at dinner? Oh, we can't ask him about dinner, right? Just keep it on mixed martial arts with Ray.
Water.
So what do you think about Joaquin Buckley, Ray? New fucking Mansa, by the way. New Mansa, man. With respect to Kevin Holland, we'll get to Trailblazer. Kevin Holland, dude, Joaquin Buckley, man. Oh my God.
I mean, if that backstory is right, that this guy trained with him and asked for him because he thought it was an easy fight, that guy, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life because he got the shit beat out of him. And that wasn't even close. I mean, is it possible that guy was beating Buckley in the room? I don't know, but Buckley did the right thing, man. He made him pay for that. So what a great fight.
Yeah, Kenny, I mean, Joaquin Buckley's been sort of looking for the big name fight, and it's a win like this that I think maybe positions you to get that. Albert Duraev is a real strong guy and a real good fighter, and I don't know. I think this was a next level to Joaquin Buckley, and I don't know. I'm excited to see the future. Not that I wasn't before, but I don't know. I think he can make some real money in the sport.
I thought he looked fantastic. It seemed like he was not only in the best shape of his life, but he was tuned in and focused for every minute of that fight. Because sometimes we see Buckley either check out or we see him get tired. And he didn't do everything perfectly, but up here he had it, and in here he had it, right? It seemed like he genuinely did the work. And that was good to see, especially, he's had some ups and downs in this sport. And he just seemed like he was very focused. And, whether that was a true story or not, whether it was a guy that maybe was beating him up in the room or not, and that was what motivated him. Regardless, obviously, he's making strides to improve. And he put a beat down on that dude, man. What excellent adjustments made. And he looked fired up and ready to not only win, but finish that dude.
And with respect to Edson Barboza and Anderson Silva, he might just have
there he is.
Hey,
what's up there, Brian?
Ray with a collared shirt, looking fantastic.
I thought this was dress up day on the show.
Every day's dress up day with Ray Longo. You look great.
That's my guy.
It is great to welcome in Brian Petrie from the MMA Takes podcast. I mean, maybe we could just say from the Anik and Florian podcast. We just see the nice MMA Takes logo up there. Happy Father's Day to you, sir.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to everyone on the screen. Happy Father's Day.
Ditto.
Both happy to have a birthday party yesterday in the can. Have that behind us now. But I want to bring you two together. Brian, got something for you before we let you get on to your Father's Day festivities. So
yeah, Ray, I have a question that's been burning me up. I've been a big fan for a long time. I remember Matt Serra's video vlogs, which he might have been one of the first fighters to do that. So my question is, in one of the vlogs, a picture of you, a gorgeous picture of you, was above what Matt called the shitter. Is that still there in his gym?
100% still there. If I'm gonna send you something with I know it's still there because he just sent me some. Molly McCann was in there with Dean Thomas, and she had some funny comments about that picture.
It's a gorgeous picture.
Yeah, let me tell you, that picture was one of the best. I love that picture. That was from the Copacabana, like in 2000.
Love it.
We were styling that night. We were styling that night, man. We sold out the Copa.
I love it.
Thanks. Yeah, it's still there. I'm gonna send you something that's funny. You'll like it with Molly McCann.
Good. Good. I'll take it. I love it.
Ray, before we let you go, UFC's coming to I guess it's not the Nassau Coliseum anymore. I don't know what they call this arena.
No, it's not. It's not the same arena.
It's a different arena.
Yeah.
All right. Is it smaller?
It's new. I haven't been there yet.
Ooh. Are you coming that night in mid-July?
Well, it's not a night. The card starts at like 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So you guys are staying right by the gym though when you're there. You're doing that show. But definitely you're literally a mile from like half a mile from the gym.
I'm definitely coming. Can I get a roll? You guys got jiu-jitsu over there at Longo Weidman MMA or
you'll be welcome with open arms over there.
All right.
Open arms, yeah. But so I don't know if I'm going to that because it's an afternoon show. So I think the main event starts at 3.
Wow, you're breaking news. I love it. All right. I should have flown out that night. All right, my man. Well, have a great dinner with your family.
Wait, that's it. You're throwing me out?
No, I mean, you can stay as long as you want. I'm trying to respect your time. It's 5:28 Eastern, and they told me you had a 5:30 out.
100%. But listen, shout out to Adrian Yanez. He's been in the gym. I love that kid.
Yeah.
What an economical, crisp fighter he is, man. You're going to fight at that range with him, you're not going to win. I thought it was another great performance for Yanez, and I just wanted to say congratulations because he's a big help whenever he comes down, and I just wish that kid the best of luck.
Yeah, that had to feel good.
And that other guy, Rodriguez, that giant.
Oh, he's
Gregory Rodriguez.
Yeah, scary.
I mean, the Cuban Missile Crisis. You know what the problem was? They never fired a missile, just like the fight. There was no missiles fired. You guys,
they were the Soviets' missiles anyway. So
right. Without a doubt.
They were missiles. They weren't even their missiles.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that guy looked scary, man.
Yeah. Whole fucking card, man. Just the whole card.
The whole card.
Just awesome. Yeah.
I got to go park the car.
Hey, have a great day and a better evening.
All right, guys.
Thanks to the family.
Yeah, Ray.
Happy Father's Day.
Ray.
Thank you very much. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Happy Father's Day,
Father's Day.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, the Anik and Florian podcast, the 353rd edition today is presented to you in part by UFC Fight Pass. We're very happy about that. See the best the UFC Fight Pass has to offer on the Fight Pass 24/7 stream, offering a constant channel of historic fight action all day, all night. Tune in, sit back, and enjoy a network created by fans for fans. Step into our world, UFCFightPass.com. I got to read that a lot straighter on a UFC broadcast. I could probably cuss doing it on these airwaves if I so choose. Brian Petrie, it's good to have you with us.
Good to be
I
here,
didn't
boys.
get a chance to acknowledge the fathers off the top of the show, and I'm more talking about the single dads, and I guess the single moms too. Shout out to the single fucking dads, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a single dad, and when my wife goes away for like 4 days, it looks like a tsunami rolls through my house. I want to like divorce her, even though she's been gone, like she hadn't done anything, you know?
Right.
And my whole life goes spinning sideways. So to the single dads, I mean, generally speaking, with a broad brush, I would say fathers in this day and age, I probably said this last year, they just feel like they're better and they do more in a broad stroke. I'm just going to say that, you know, Longo didn't change any diapers. I hate to fucking shit on him on the way up, but no, I mean, my best friend didn't change any diapers. I can assure you his son is going to know. What a fucking piece of trash. I know. Is he not? I mean, Brian Martin Montgomery, like barely changed the fucking, right. Like if you're a dad in 2022 and you don't change diapers,
It's crazy.
I don't know how much respect I have.
I've changed 3 today already. It's maybe even more. It's crazy. Yeah.
So you and I both had birthday parties yesterday. My son Hunter turned 4, thought he did. And you celebrated birthday a few days after the fact. Is that right?
Yeah. Wendy's birthday was Tuesday. We had the party on Saturday just because the in-laws live in Atlanta and they had to come in and stuff. We got a bounce house and it was a good time. It was fun. I mean, a lot of kids running around, you know, and it was good to get home to watch the fights. That's what I was looking forward to. It was fun for a little bit. You're like, cool. And then they start eating sugar. And then you're like, okay, now it's crazy. Bounce house might pop. We might not get back to the deposit. Let's slow down. But it was good, man. It was a good time.
Got to schedule those birthday parties for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Can't be scheduling those for 3 hours. In and out.
We did it for 4. We rented that thing for 4.
Wow.
So on the MMA,
3.
Excuse me. So on the MMA Takes podcast, like, would you ever talk about your kid's birthday party or something?
Oh yeah, the first 15 minutes usually is me rambling about personal stuff. I'm an open book. I talk about fucking everything.
Because I tell you, man, Ray Longo. I mean, we worked our schedule around him today. Have him join the top of the show. You know, no Ray Longo Minute imaging, right? Just make it lead the show, star of the show, Ray fucking Longo, right? And man, I mean, he didn't want to talk about anything.
Yeah, he's straight business. That guy. Yeah, I'm an open book. I'll talk about everything.
So, Cody, you can fire some performances in the chat room from this Saturday night because inevitably I'm going to forget somebody. But, Kenfo, I'd like to lead with you, if I could, on Kevin Holland. He's found the right weight class, man. I mean, discipline is not an issue for this man. And thought it was a really good performance for Kevin. And, you know, I don't know who tweeted, but there is sort of a composure and a calmness to him. And, you know, I think some of that just has to do with the experience that he's accrued in the UFC across several divisions and fighting in a short amount of time. Your thoughts on Kevin Holland after what was undoubtedly a big weekend for him?
Yeah, listen, there's no question about it that the experience really is transforming his confidence, his approach, his technique. He looks way more composed in there. He seems more technical in there. And I agree. I think 170 pounds absolutely is the right weight class for him. I don't know. I think he looked great. It seems like he is only going to continue to get better. He wants to keep that active schedule. I hope his body is able to hold up where he can fulfill that. It seems like he's not taking a whole lot of damage. So offensively, defensively, he's better everywhere. And he's an opportunist, man. If he gets you hurt, he's going to take you out. And I love that about him. And it seems like he's, you know, there was a lot of criticism on his part about maybe his grappling or his ability to stop takedowns. It seems like he's genuinely working on all of those skills and has made a concerted effort and taking his game to the next level. And I'm high on him as well, man. He's been looking great.
Fought Rafael Lovato Jr. in his 6th pro fight, right? Accrues all this pre-UFC experience. Then many of our listeners remember when he fought Thiago Santos, obviously on short notice to bust the UFC door down. And you look at some of these names, right? Obviously has a win over the aforementioned Joaquin Buckley, but Jacare Souza. And then even going the distance with guys like Brunson and Vettori. Your thoughts on Kevin Holland, Brian Petrie, after a big win and the accompanying bonus on Saturday?
Unbelievable. I loved it. I cashed on him. I had him straight and I had him by finish. I was confident in his power. Tim Means does get hit a little bit. He has been rocked a little bit. But Kevin Holland at 170 shredded. Like, he looks big and shredded. I mean, I know he's skinny, but he looks great. His confidence is all time high. He's a dog in there too. He fights well. You know, big, long guy, likes to fight at range, but he fights in the clinch dirty well. A lot of people, excuse me, they're going to knock that he got taken down a few times. But instead of playing the guard like he did against the bigger guys, he popped right back up. which is good, which is what Kenny's point was. He's obviously working on that stuff. And I tweeted out, he's going to be a problem at 170. And someone's like, a problem for who? And you look at the top 10, top 15 guys, there's only a handful of really strong grapplers that are going to give him a problem.
Yeah.
I think he matches up well with Vicente Luque. I think he matches up well with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I think he matches up well with Jorge Masvidal, who's highly ranked. I think this guy gives these guys fits. He's going to have trouble with the Bilal Muhammad's who can do everything. He's got trouble, obviously, with the Colbys and Kamaros. But, man, the ceiling is high for him at 170. And he stopped another crime before he did the fight. Chased somebody and fucking got perfume back or some shit. The guy's a superhero, and I was blown away. I love this performance.
I'm a huge Kevin Holland fan. So ceiling higher on him or Adrian Yanez?
You're not Yanez. I had Yanez on the podcast right when I've only interviewed 2 fighters because I thought in the beginning of the podcast I was gonna be an interview guy, which I'm not. It was Yanez and my boy Chris Curtis, who's a good friend of mine.
Oh, the fucking action man.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be in Las Vegas for this seminar.
You got it. I have to. You have to. Play
I
like
may literally go to the. Isn't he? He's fighting.
I'm fighting. Yeah, we're breaking the fight down. Yeah.
I may literally go to the Apex just to watch the action man fight, and then I gotta go.
You got to get out of there.
I got a bunch of stuff going on and other work I have to attend to. But when I saw that the fucking action man, Chris Curtis in the flesh was going to be fighting, I can have a couple
guy.
Fucking, tequilas and watch the action man. But so Chris Curtis, anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, I'm higher on Yanez. I think Yanez has proven he came through the LFA. He fought some tough guys. His fights are all his losses are really close. The big knock on him is how can he deal with wrestlers? He lost to Miles John, who's a good wrestler. I think he's fixed that, and he's lethal. He's confident. I love the attitude. Tony Kelly was the bad guy this weekend. Yanez was the hero. Double birded him after he knocked him out. Kid is special. I think the kid is really, really special. So I'm higher on Yanez just because of that, just because he's a little younger in that weight division. But I'm still high on Holland too. But 170 is a Shark Tank though. So
right.
So is 135. But yeah, I like Yanez.
Ken Flo, how many of these finishes on the prelims did you see with Jeremiah Wells and Hamosh and Roman Dolidze? Did you see the knee from Roman Dolidze?
I did not.
I mean, Kyle Dawkins
heard it was
face
brutal.
Can't feel great today. What a way to open the great. So many good names, and Phil Hawes obviously good. You feel good for Cody Stamen. But I want to talk to you briefly, Ken Flo, before we move on, if I could, about PFL 4 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Sure.
So, I'm just checking the results today. I got a lot on my plate, 3 kids, trying to be a good fucking dad here on Father's Day. Watched the UFC card last night. My man Clay Collin lost by split decision in the main event. Is that the truth? Is that what happened?
He did. I actually thought he won that fight. BP, I don't know if you saw it.
I did,
I'd be curious to get your take on it. But I thought he won the fight. It was close. But at the same time, I thought he was making some decisions that were making it more difficult on him. Like he could have done more basic escapes. He was getting fancy with rolling out of things and, overcomplicating some of his escaping methods. And he kind of paid for it, still thought he won. And Martinez is very underrated and getting good fast. But it felt bad for Clay, man. He had a kid that probably was born yesterday or maybe even on fight night. And so had a kid on his way and on the way and came up short there and is missing missing the playoffs again. So that was unfortunate, man.
Yeah, I like Clay a lot.
Has it seems like he's been on the wrong side of a couple splits in the PFL. Rob Wilkinson fought Israel Adesanya in what was Adesanya's UFC debut. So naturally, I am always have my eyes on Rob Wilkinson. He had a big win over Victor Pesta, who I think got Ezekiel choked at some point in the UFC, if memory serves, but maybe not. Ken Flo, what do you have for me on Rob Wilkinson?
The first thing that stands out when I see him in person, I go, how the hell did he make 185 pounds? He looks massive, dude, at 205 pounds. It's insane. But man, has he gotten better. Like here's a guy that, during the pandemic was looking for a mixed martial arts fight and was taking boxing fights, pro boxing fights, pro kickboxing fights just to get better. Went over to train with Israel Adesanya for a few camps, obviously committed to the game, was willing to do whatever and go wherever to get better. And it clearly is paying off. He just seems like a completely different fighter everywhere, from his wrestling to his striking, to his jiu-jitsu and ground and pound. Confidence-wise, he's a different dude who he was kind of the dark horse heading into this. He might be one of the favorites now. I think it's probably between him and Shoeface to win the belt at 205.
Bri, you watching these PFL
Of
shows
course.
start to bottom?
Oh yeah,
Top to
top to bottom.
So
Yeah,
I could ask you about Conan Silvera's son Josh, and you'd be all over.
Looked fantastic. I was surprised. That was
Yeah.
that was a Hamlet was an underdog, and I was like, Silveria is a favorite. I don't know much about him. Obviously, know a lot about his dad. Went out there and butchered Hamlet, and I was really surprised by that because Martin Hamlet's a good guy, solid fighter, and I didn't expect the finish to happen. I thought Silveria was going to win, but not like that. Yeah, that was impressive. Jeremy Stevens looked great too. I got to shout out old heathen Jeremy Stevens. Shaved everything. I mean, looked like a different person. Fought a tough Irishman and got the split. I thought he won. I thought he won the fight. I don't know why it was a split, but yeah, he looked really good in that fight as well. Big power still.
Jeremy Stevens needed a win, obviously. Did you think that fight was close, or did you? How'd you see it?
I thought it was pretty close. I thought that second round was probably, obviously the closest one, or maybe the controversial one for some people. I thought Jeremy Stevens did enough, but this was a Miles Price that I thought was really motivated and driven to win this fight. Didn't have a great performance against Anthony Pettis, of course, but came back and I thought fought a hell of a fight. I thought Jeremy Stevens just was causing a little bit too much damage during those rounds, and that's what allowed him to win that fight. But Miles Price was coming, pretty damn hard in round three, and had some good position on Stevens. Was trying to take him out, but I guess in the end it was not enough.
Fucking loving my PFL recap. I mean, we might have to do like a fucking Petrie dish PFL recap. Let's with Flo. Millionaire Manfio goes down. Is that what I'm reading? Fucking Olivier Aubin-Mercier. What was the betting line on that, Brian? Any idea?
I don't know off the top of my head. The only one I was going to play was Martinez over Clay.
Wow.
Because I think Alex Martinez is a stud. I think he's a sleeper.
He is good, dude.
I didn't get a chance to go to Indiana, so I don't know but I'm sure OAM, he's coming off he's coming off a loss over Schulte, right?
No, he won. He won.
Did he beat him? Okay.
Yeah,
it was a very close fight, and he looked really good. But yeah, OAM, you can't sleep on this guy. And Rash Manfleur obviously knocked out my boy Don Madge in a fight he was losing. And then OAM just took him apart in this fight. I wish I would have bet it, man. I couldn't get down to Indiana though.
Yeah, OAM's looking good, man. Looking good. He's undefeated still in the PFL, and he's on his way to the playoffs, man. It wasn't the prettiest fight, and he acknowledged that, but he did what he had to do to get. And
his hands are getting a lot better. In the UFC, he was a little boring, I think, at times. Totally. He could, but his hands are crisp, especially against Natan Schulte. Yeah, his hands look really good.
Looks like OAM was minus 155. All right, good stuff. Great stuff from the UFC with all those finishes and all the bonuses that went out. And I say it all the time about mixed martial arts and just it being the gift that keeps on giving, right? I happen to ingest more NBA content this year because the Boston Celtics went to Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Congratulations to the fucking Golden State Warriors. But, you watch these shows and they spend a week trying to quantify where Steph Curry is in terms of the 75 greatest NBA players of all time. And certainly some of our listenership could be like, oh, this is like kettle black shit, right? Because you're always talking in those terms. But think about these two live events for the PFL and the UFC and how much they gave us to talk about. So much so that I'm shortchanging half the guys who finished on the UFC. And we've been going for 43 minutes. And because we want to keep you guys wanting more, we're going to stop it down there. But every fucking week, this show does itself. And that's why we all keep showing up. I mean, Petrie got a raise, by the way. So
shout out Jeremiah Wells. That was my big hit this weekend. I was all over him. I couldn't believe he was a dog. Court McGee, you don't look good against Court McGee. You just don't, right? And the only person that ever did was Santiago Ponzinibbio. And Jeremiah Wells, out of that Philly gym, they got something special there, man. And obviously didn't see him winning by knockout, but I'm big on Jeremiah Wells.
First time McGee's been knocked out. Is that right?
Well, Ponzinibbio got him years ago.
Okay.
That was the only other time he's been finished. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So where do you guys think Steph Curry ranks all time in terms of NBA players? Like,
well, listen, 4 rings. I mean,
no, but it's like how I mean, I'm not going to reach for my Larry Bird picture over there, but it's like, how are you going to compare him, right? And yeah, I mean, I'm comparing like Volkanovski and Holloway and Jose Aldo, and maybe I shouldn't be, but congratulations to Steph Curry. That's a hell of a player, man. I've never seen anything like it.
He's a Carolina boy. You know who we had in the PFL audience was Dominique Wilkins, dude. Remember?
Yeah, I saw him on the broadcast. Yeah.
Imagine if he learned a flying knee. Everyone would be in trouble. Flying knee from Neek. What?
Steph Curry, born in Ohio, by the way. Carolina boy, but born in Ohio.
Oh, okay. All right.
A little Ohio blood in him. Let's give him
there we go.
Yeah.
Give him that credit.
Yeah. Gaethje is not the human highlight. Should be the human highlight. We got a human highlight, Dominic Wilkins, human highlight film. All right. It is time for the pronunciation of the week. It is UFC Fight Night. And I'm not going to say the surnames because today for our pronunciation of the week, we have the last names of both of the headlining athletes for the first time. And so we're excited to present that to you. So you got a couple of lightweights here and very, very big opportunity for both of them. Cody, are you going to show your face today or
there's a handsome guy.
We have a little bit of cannabis before the program today. It's good to see you, Cody. White-eyed as usual, brother.
It's alleged. I plead the fifth. Moving on to the pronunciation of the week.
So pronunciation of the week. And it's good to see you. I don't know why you thought this week would be off camera, but that's
presented by CBDMD. No, just kidding. No plugs here.
So yeah, these two surnames, I guess these whole names can present some problems. So why don't you just tell the masses the two fighters that are competing in the UFC main event on Saturday night?
So one of them we have had before, so I hope I don't get it right. But Mateusz Gamrot is facing Arman Tsarukyan.
Yeah, I mean those sound good to me, man.
Let's go.
Let's hear it. Let's hear them.
All right. Number one.
My name is Mateusz Gamrot. My nickname is Geimer.
One more time.
My name is Mateusz Gamrot. My nickname is Geimer.
I'm hearing.
Don't play that for your kids before they go to bed.
I'm hearing Gamrot, not Gamrot.
Yeah.
Gamrot.
He can play it again as long as there are no children listening before bedtime. He can play that again.
I'll play it.
My name is Mateusz Gamrot. My nickname is Geimer.
One more time.
My name is Mateusz Gamrot. My nickname is Geimer.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one. Yeah, so largely, like I think as long as we're all emphasizing the same syllable, we're good. But you hear Gamrot, as long as we're emphasizing that first syllable, I think. I mean, it's probably going to be a win for me. Ken Flo's tough. I do believe on the broadcast he'll be. Well, who the fuck knows? We're all over the place. As long as we emphasize the right syllable, we're good. And then, Cody, who's the red corner athlete for us, if you don't mind?
Ango.
Arman.
Tsarukyan. One more time.
Arman Tsarukyan.
He's like, it's like Madonna, Arman. He's like, I just go by one name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you nailed that one. That was good.
Yeah, that was really good. And both of those guys just sound like, you asked me to say it again. Excuse me. God.
Did you not hear me the first time?
All right. It's Mateusz fucking Gamrot. Okay. Well, next athlete.
Good luck to those gentlemen for having to follow the UFC Austin card. I mean,
tough.
Man.
Yeah. Tough.
Right. Stick you back at the Apex. No fans. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
I'll be watching, though. I might even make a cameo for that Chris Curtis fight. All right.
Need to.
Let us get into some of these predictions now. Normally, I would avoid a -900, but I wanted to give you guys a little chance to talk about Umar Nurmagomedov against Nate Maness. Nurmagomedov -900, Maness +625. Doesn't look like Maness on paper, but I listened to the file before the show. So, all right, Nurmagomedov undefeated, -900, submitted the very tough Brian Kelleher in March at UFC 272. Was to face Jack Shore, Bry, around that same time. That fight went away. I couldn't necessarily find out why. Maness on the other side, 14-1, 3-0 in the UFC. Your thoughts on this main card matchup coming up on Saturday?
I'm glad we got to break down this fight because I think Umar is probably the best, and I'm including Islam in that. He's going to be proven to be the best from the Khabib stable. I think he has everything: his stand-up, his wrestling, everything. I understand he's a -900. It's crazy. You're going to have to find ways to play this. And Nate the Great. This is kind of a local boy for me. He fought a lot in Northern Kentucky. His pro debut was against a guy that was at the gym, same teammates. And I remember watching a fight, seeing him fight a couple times locally, and turned a very heavily wrestler, big for the division, and then now he's really found his hands a little bit. Looked great in the gravity fight. I mean, broke his jaw, came back, knocked him out. It was unbelievable. He's a solid kid, solid prospect. I can understand why if the value boys are going to go, because he's going to close at +700, 800, right?
Yeah.
I can understand we're making a poke at him because he is he's 14-1. He's a solid dude, but I just think Umar is just on another level. I think he's faster. I think he's stronger. I think his cardio is on point. Khabib taking over his training camp is just has been nothing but great for those guys. And I like the quick turnaround. You know, he destroyed Brian Kellner, who I keep in high regard. Boom, Kellner is the man. And he made it look easy, which no one does. And so I like Umar a lot here. I hate picking a minus 900 being a fucking chalk little bitch, but it is what it is. I think the kid's that talented, so I'm gonna go Umar.
Ken Flo, Nurmagomedov, as Brian mentioned, making a quick turn. Manus, not the case. That Gravely fight was 10 months ago, September 2021. Manus seemingly up against it here. Your thoughts on this main card fight?
Yeah, I think he is as well. You know, Manus is tough. I think his best shot is trying to get Nurmagomedov early, you know, trying to catch him with a shot coming in or something like that. Nurmagomedov's going to be too good here. I don't see him losing this one. Obviously a big favorite here and for good reason.
All right, we'll go right back to you on this one at middleweight. The action man, Chris Curtis, minus 155, taking on the 4-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, the world-class Adolfo Vieira, who is plus 135. Ken Flo, wrestlers, perhaps rightfully so, get sensitive with that term world-class. I felt like Adolfo Vieira, IBJJF Hall of Famer. I mean, if he's not world-class, you know, I don't know if there should be a true to definition world-class jiu-jitsu player, but this is MMA, and he's the underdog here against Chris Curtis. Your thoughts on this one at 185 pounds?
Yeah, listen, absolutely world-class. That is very much justified and correct. He's won it all, definite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu legend. And I like the way he's developing. You know, there's certain times where I've seen him fight where I'm like, man, does he have it? Does he have it mentally? Is he a fighter? I don't mean that disrespectfully, because those are the guys that end up getting really badly hurt, and you don't want to see that. Vieira is such a nice guy, really is.
Yeah.
But there's been certain times where, like, man, I hope he turns around and gets it together, and he has. I think that he is improving. I think that he's experienced some ups, he's experienced some downs. I think he kind of knows what he's getting himself into now. He's making the proper adjustments. And he's going against a guy in Chris Curtis who's very dangerous, a guy who knows how to come back, a guy who's not going to get intimidated, or just because he gets taken down or in a bad position that he's going to give up on himself. Chris Curtis is going to keep firing back, and he's going to try to win that fight every second of every round. I do think this is going to be a tough matchup for him. Rodolfo Vieira, if he's able to get you on your back, you are in trouble. And I think he's getting more comfortable utilizing the strikes to set up a lot of his guard passes and his advances of positions and his submissions. So I kind of like him in this underdog role. So I think it's willing to go. You know, I'm willing to go for it. I think it's a decent bet here for Vieira, and I think he could pull off a submission here.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It's a good breakdown. The judges just don't give you credit for any of that stuff you're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love all the judges. They're my buddies. If I was getting bar mitzvah this weekend, you'd all be fucking invited. Brian, what do you have for us on Vieira and the action man, Chris Curtis?
No secret here where I'm going. Listen, I'm good friends with Chris Curtis. I mentioned he saved my life one time. That's true. I've sparred over 100 rounds with a guy early in his pro career. He was my guy. I helped him cut weight. I pulled the sauna suit off him. We're as close kids we used to be. Moved out to California first, now Vegas. I love the guy. Talk to him weekly. And I think it's a tough matchup for him. The big knock on Chris Curtis is get him to the ground, right? His takedown defense has been poor. He was a PFL guy, Magomed Marishiprov or whatever. I'm sorry.
Magomed Karamov. You got
there
it.
you go. Beat him twice, took him to the ground, and then and then he's only been submitted once in his career by Tom Galicchio all the way back in the day. So his submission defense is good. His wrestling is getting better. When he went to Vegas, Eric Nixick and Coach Wood were like, all we're doing is working wrestling because that's what you need. He touches the body better than anyone. He comes in as an underdog against Phil Hawes, knocks him out. We all just saw how good Phil Hawes looks. Coming against Brendan Allen, 26-year-old confident guy, knocks him out. You know, I'm on the action man here. He's the favorite. I understand the matchup, but I'm so glad Kenny picked the jiu-jitsu guy. Jiu-jitsu because he's the jiu-jitsu man. So I got a little bet for Kenny if he wants to take it.
Oh, no.
Everybody wants us to bet. You know, it's the end of the year.
Look at him cover his hair before you even
No. So Kenny's got to go on camera. Kenny's got to look pretty. He's a face. We all know that, right? So I don't want to do anything with his hair. His hair's glorious. So if I win, I was thinking we can Flo rock just a fucking stash for maybe a week, do a podcast with a beautiful stash because I can't grow a mustache. And if I lose, if Chris loses, Kenny can pick whatever he wants to do with my hair. Shave the middle, mohawk, buzz it, whatever he wants. And I want to lay it out to Mr. Flo. I know you're getting a dog price here. So it's up to you, brother. Or if you don't want to shave your facial hair, pop a shoey on the podcast.
I'll do a shoey.
That.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
It is.
I mean, my wife, my daughter, they'll throw up if I have a mustache.
Fair enough.
That's
we'll pop a shoey on the podcast. Okay, that's how. So obviously, my pick is the Action Man. I'm glad have descending picks on that one.
Yeah, you don't want to scare the children with the mustache. There are some videos populating on social media right now of kids being freaked out when their dad shaves his beard.
I've seen those.
Since we're digressing though, Bri,
if
we're just going all in live radio, chips in the center of the table.
Yeah,
I got an offer for you. Okay,
sure.
I don't know what your employer thinks about you taking Friday, July 1st off, but I'd like to get your ass to Las Vegas. You use one of my tickets for UFC 276. There might be a live broadcast of the Anik and Florian podcast on this Radio Row thing.
Sure.
And Ken Flo and I can't be there, but maybe you and Boston Anik could step in. So
I mean, I can look into it. I know I have some days banked up. I don't miss much work, so I can look into it for you.
The June 19th notice isn't ideal. When you put my guy Ken Flo on the spot, I'm not going to say that for a now. So, hey, trying to get you to Vegas. We'll see if we can put all that together, but we need to get to the co-main event. And Ken Flo, you're going to lead us on the main event. So just fucking put that in your back pocket.
You got it.
Co-main event, Shavkat Rakhmonov -380, Neil Magny +290. This is a big fight at welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Rakhmonov is undefeated, 15-0, can move into the top 10 where Magny currently resides. Magny, though, toughest test by far to date for Rakhmonov. But he's a 4-1 favorite here, Bri. I mean, getting all the respect, and I guess that's from the betting public as well. Any value on Magny for you and the value boys out there?
Yeah, I mean, of course there's value on Neil. I mean, he's so tough. He's durable. He's an awkward guy to fight. Unfortunately, I felt like the past two fights, even though he's won, I saw him live in Columbus. I don't think he beat Max Griffin. No disrespect to Magny. It was a very close fight. I mean, again, I don't throw the R word around, but Rakhmonov's next level. When Rakhmonov debuted, everyone was talking about Chimaev. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And he's great because he's got a personality and everything. He smashes everyone, brother. But this kid with the wearing a wolf that I'm pretty sure he murdered on his head. You know what I mean? And this kid's got some real skills, and he's fought some really good people so far, and he's made it look pretty easy. His stand-up's really good. He's kind of got an awkward body type to match Neil Magny. He's strong as all get out. I think his submissions are good. I think this is going to look a lot like Magny and Ponzinibbio, Magny and maybe RDA, where Magny's just going to get a little overwhelmed on the ground and probably just get finished here. I like Rakhmonov. I like him by finish. The number's a little too high for me to take him straight up, but I will take him by finish. I'm flirting with TKO submission, but I'm really high on Rakhmonov. I think this is going to propel him to, like John said, top 10, top 5, or top 5. I think a Sean Brady matchup in the future is something I'm getting excited about. So give me all the Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Ken Flo, Magny has made a career beating guys that on paper he's not necessarily supposed to beat. 19 UFC welterweight wins. George St. Pierre doesn't have 20. Your thoughts on Magny here against Rakhmonov? Not a lot of people seemingly giving him a shot as usual.
Yeah, listen, Neil Magny, there was a point where I felt like he was on point with his game. He was focused. He was consistent throughout the fight. Now I feel like, we see kind of flashes of brilliance, but we see him kind of either check out or, make poor decisions during a fight. I don't know exactly what is going on and why that is. But I don't like his chances here. Like Brian, I'm super high on Rakhmonov. I think he's a fantastic talent. No one's really talking about him. And I don't think anyone at 170 pounds wants to fight him. I think he's good everywhere. He's dynamic. He's hungry. He's fast. He's athletic. He's a good wrestler. So I like Rakhmonov here. And I think this is a good fight for him to make his name more well-known.
And if Magny wins, Kenny will keep the beard, but he's going to shave his whole head, his eyebrows. And,
God. Oh, my God.
So, And by the way, we got to talk about the Action Man off the air because that's interesting, Bri, that you guys are that close because he's one of my favorites,
Yeah.
All right, main event. Arman Tsarukyan minus 255, Mateusz Gamrot plus 215. Tsarukyan, pretty big favorite here, Ken Flo, which I guess tells you something. He's 25 years old, 18-2 as a pro. He's won 5 in a row since dropping his debut. That came against Islam Makhachev back in 2019. It was a fight of the night. On the other side, Gamrot out of Poland, former KSW lightweight champion. He has won 3 in a row since dropping his debut against Guram Kutataladze. That was a split in 2020. Big spot for these two guys headlining against each other. First main event for both parties. Ken Flo, you going with the chalky Tsarukyan or Mateusz Gamrot?
I really like Tsarukyan. I think, he's developed nicely. I think he's getting better all the time. It was a good sign when you saw his fight against Makhachev way back in the day, how well he did back then. I think he's improving really well, but I'm high on Gamrot. I think that the way that he mixes his striking in to get into grappling range and look for takedowns, I think he's way cleaner on the ground than Tsarukyan as well. Tsarukyan makes mistakes. Gamrot really doesn't. Tsarukyan athletically is so good where he's able to, not let people take advantage of some of those mistakes. But he gets a little wild at times, can lose position at times. Gamrot is just a juggernaut who moves forward, who's very clean with his techniques for the most part. Again, doesn't make a heck of a lot of mistakes. And I think it's just riding high on confidence. I also think there's an argument to be made that he's had the more difficult fights. You look at the quality of competition. I'm really impressed with what Gamrot has done. He's faced a lot of experience in the octagon, and I like him for the upset here. I like the underdog here.
Yeah, I see the value and pre-UFC schedule as well. Brian Petrie, any main event action for you? I guess here you have no choice. You got to have action. So.
Of course, always main event action. And Kenny kind of stole my pick here. I was flirting with it a little bit. I love the value on Gamrot because outside the UFC, he's a stud. His cardio, he's built for 5 rounds. I think, the Guram fight that he lost by split decision, you give him 2 more rounds, I think he wins that fight. This kid's a stud, but Tsarukyan comes in, fights Islam, right, and holds his own against a stud. Then gets OAM out there, decisions OAM. Davi Ramos, which, everyone's like, don't take him to the ground because this kid's a stud. He takes him to the ground. He's okay. Matt Frivola is a great grappler himself. Destroys Matt Frivola. It's a decision win, but he dominates him. Cristiano Giagos, who I can't pronounce, is a bulldozer. No one finishes him. So Tsarukyan, now he's getting a little older. Now he's finishing people, right? Finished Giagos, and then Joel Alvarez, which is an absolute beating, who I have Alvarez very high. Tricky on the ground, huge for 155, good striker, and Tsarukyan just bulldozes him. I keep mispronouncing his name. I apologize. I was born with marbles in my mouth, guys. I apologize. But I was leaning towards Gamrot because he is also, I think, the better fighter for 5 rounds. I think his stand-up's cleaner. I think his wrestling is going to cancel out Tsarukyan's wrestling. But there's just something about this kid. I faded him twice. I faded him in I believe the Frivola fight because, Frivola, I was like, oh, Frivola's a good grappler. And then I put a lot of money on Alvarez. I don't think I'm going to fade him. I mean, I know it's a hefty price and the value's on the side of Gamrot, and I love that pick by Kenny. I'm gonna go opposite here. Just let's make it a little fun here. I'm gonna go Tsarukyan. I think he's gonna win by decision. I don't think he can get Gamrot out of there, but let's go by decision.
Very curious to see this main event. UFC Fight Night, Tsarukyan versus Gamrot. BP, we'll figure out that pronunciation off the air. It's tough when you're looking at Tsarukyan all day or whatever the fuck. It's hard.
It's so funny because I have 2 friends of mine that their names start with T, but it's pronounced like the S. So you just ignore the T, right? And I still can't fucking get it. So that's how my brain works. So.
Well, it's always good to see you at Brian Petrie MMA if you want more, and we will touch base about UFC 276 off the air, but appreciate your time and energy today.
Absolutely, boys. Happy Father's Day, everyone, and good seeing you, boys. See ya.
There he is. Happy Father's Day to you as well, buddy. All right. We got to get on out of here. Before we do, though, we're going to check back in with Cody MERRROW. By the way, Petrie last week, $100 on all of his picks would have won you $315.45. Ken Flo doesn't keep the change, not a keep the change guy, but $100 on Ken Flo's picks would have been minus $54.55. Hi, Cody.
Yeah, well, excuse my math. I'm a little bit in the green when I'm doing it over here. So,
all right.
No, nothing. You can bag on me. I didn't need a pity
No, it's
laugh.
good. I like you. I just like that you're leaning into it.
Yeah.
Leaning into it.
Well, I have
Caught
to.
me off guard.
Yeah, well,
I didn't leave you much wiggle room,
Yeah, I feel that. Well, and also, poor Brian Petrie, huh? You get the name, you got to sit there and pronounce it and figure it out. I mean, I feel so bad, He's.
I love you, this guy.
I mean, damn.
I know.
Getting thrown to the wolves. So I did have a question for you guys to bring off the MERRROW seconds here from our buddy Jim, fucking casuals on Twitter. How would you rate UFC Austin among the all-time best fight cards?
Probably about where Steph Curry is, Who
in the
cares?
pantheon? It's in the
I
conversation.
love fucking casuals, one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter, but don't care,
Hey, if Anik's not involved, it's not in my top 10.
There you go.
I found myself about halfway through the card thinking to myself, like, damn, I wish John was on this card.
The energy was good there. The energy was good there.
No denigration, no denigration on the commentary, but I just wanted more John,
Okay,
and credit to DC for giving it back to Phil Haas in the octagon there. I thought that was a pretty funny clip.
Yeah. Not always easy being DC. What else?
It is not. It is not. Especially when you just can't slap somebody, It's like, if this was 20 years ago, I was like, you ain't speaking up to DC. I'm not.
Fair.
So looking ahead, I know you mentioned UFC 276. Hopefully we can get BP there. Going to be a whole melding of the minds. Unfortunately, we know Ken Flo won't be there unless.
Yeah, I mean, this fucking guy.
We're just going to buy it out. We're going to buy out.
He actually has a PFL show the night before UFC 276. So it's an excused absence.
So I did want to bring up two things about that early on. So just looking ahead at the odds, some stuff that people might want to jump on. Jessica Rose Clark right now, -120 versus Julia Stoliarenko. I think that's going to swell. I think she should be a huge favorite. And then Dricus du Plessis, +110 against Brad Tavares. I would expect that to maybe flip by the time we actually get to Vegas.
Interesting. You like Dricus?
I like Dricus, yeah.
Right.
Dricus. He's been on the pronunciation week. I should know it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm nothing without my notes. Everybody knows that.
I think it's Dracus. I think you're right. Number two, new nickname announcement here from the podcast. So not a big, big mouth. Yeah, funny, but like Kevin the Vigilante Holland. I mean, it's just so much better, right?
Yeah,
it is. It's perfect.
I thought you were going to tell us that Phil Haas is now no hype.
No,
but I guess that would not be breaking news. Did you know Phil Haas now has a new nickname? It's no hype. I kind of like it. I don't want your fucking hype.
Yeah, I'll take some of it. Follow at Cody Merrow _
yeah, that's good. That's good.
You know what else is good?
What's that?
Is that the UFC is heading back to Boston officially August 13th.
What?
From what I saw on the internet.
No.
No, I've seen it reported in multiple places.
I think they're going to San Diego for Dominic Cruz and Cheeto Vera.
Maybe I got the date wrong.
And I believe it's I mean, that's a home game for Dominic and against the greatest finisher that division's ever seen. He'll be the underdog. But no, they announced that fight on the broadcast this weekend when you were Cheech and Chong up in fucking smoke over there.
Yeah, I was watching all the fights. It just didn't take
you because of that. But you could fix
But
that.
I believe it was announced for San Diego. But it seems like Boston is like on the horizon. But I will say about Boston, and I don't know. I really don't know. People say like, I know nothing. Okay. Cody finds this shit out before I do. Rest assured. But I was hoping they would hold out for a pay-per-view in Boston. But the truth is they can bang out TD Garden for a UFC Fight Night, Tsarukyan versus Gamrot. I'm telling you, it's a fight town. Like Kempflo, that's just the truth. I'm telling you, when TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz fought at TD Garden in 2016, you fucking Jim and Revere had no idea who fucking Dominic Cruz was. He buys his ticket, fucking UFC Fight Nights of the God. I don't care who's on the fucking card. You got anything else, Cody?
Well, both me and Boston Anik were there for the pay-per-view in Boston the last time. So,
and you and Boston Anik are both going to be there at UFC 276. Cody's flight is booked. So, hey, Cody's got some. Cody, when the New Hampshire comes out, Cody's got some haters now in the public space. Or just rest assured, he's 6'3". It's Cody Merrow looking for a fight at UFC 276. Just careful crossing him.
Just coming soon on Fight Pass. John, give him the ad read. All right, moving on. So I mean, we could easily fill the Worcester Sharks arena, right? Why not do a fight night in there, huh? We're going to this Texas arena. It's like 10,000 people.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Welcome to Worcester.
Yeah, why not?
We could do a card in Waltham.
Right.
Yeah, we could
Right.
definitely go there in fantasy. It's right next to Candyland, actually.
Yeah.
The made-up place. Massachusetts native Joe Lozon, unfortunately, knee locked up right after weigh-ins. He was vlogging about it, very transparent. Kenny, you ever experienced something like that? A knee lock up and just
So I've been really lucky. My knee is so that seems like it's a meniscus thing. My meniscus is torn in my left knee, so I'm starting to experience the beginnings of that. Luckily, I haven't had any serious knee injuries over the course of my career, but it's coming. That sucks, man. That was awful to hear.
Cody, it seemed like there was some tib-fib dislocation, and eventually he read some message that alerted him to a stretch that alleviated whatever he was dealing with, but it's crazy.
He found an Instagram video that ended up unlocking his knee. He contacted the UFC on Saturday morning and said, "Hey, like I'm good. Like I'll fight." And Cowboy would have been down. I don't ever think it got to Cowboy because the UFC was like, "No, we can't do it."
Yeah, Cowboy fucking 6 butt heavies deep at that point. But Kenny, you need to go to Joe Lozon's Instagram account. Not that we're trying to, pump up like former Ken Flo opponents necessarily on the program, but go to @Joe Lozon MMA or whatever it is. And no, there was some. I literally think somebody commented to him like, "Hey, I had this tib-fib thing. Check it out." And his mind was blown. Like he couldn't even put any weight on it without being in agony. And then
that's
pretty
insane.
nuts. Yeah. The gentle art, all these jiu-jitsu players.
Right. I mean, hey, good thing. So Kenny said, "Oh, I'm experiencing this problem now." Yeah. At the commentary desk, not walking into a cage fight to fight somebody for your life.
Are you challenging him to come back and fight? Is that what you're doing right now?
Well, actually, hey, I got a contact at CFFC Grappling. If you want to take on GSP, he said he's interested.
There we go. Yeah.
GSP versus Ken Flo. John, you're showing up for that. I know you are.
Ken Flo, do you anybody have any idea what it costs for this guy to show up for grappling? Like his show money is prohibitive, certainly for some of these grappling outfits right now. Ken Flo's show money is prohibitive. What do you think you're paying him? You think kid's not showing up $15K to show?
So
Sorry.
I hear
what
this
show my $5,000 for Ken Flo.
This new company called Live Grappling, and they're willing to break the bank for Kenny.
There we go.
Great.
One Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, I get it. That's good. That's good. The Saudi Arabian golf tour. Yeah. No, I mean, once he pays out the age, I mean, we need probably 25 to show. And then, we're going to manipulate the rule set as well. So
exactly.
Right.
John's going to be my agent, by the way. Perfect. Contact John if you're interested. Yeah.
So last thing.
Yes. What do you got?
Total fight time for the UFC Austin event in cage octagon fight time, 97 minutes. Total time of the finishes. If you take out the decisions, you skip all the decisions. I don't want to see them. 17 minutes, 58 seconds. So the total fight time, you could watch the movie Mean Girls, classic, the movie Elf, and also Clerks 2, all 97 minutes long. So you can pound through this if you haven't seen it yet. But if you're watching this podcast, you probably have.
I love it. Great stuff, Cody. And if you are a father to daughters, right? Mean Girls, I trot that out all the time, right? If my daughter's like or not, I'm like, hey, were you in that movie Mean Girls? Gets them every time, So just softly say to your daughter, hey, that wasn't very nice. Were you in that movie fucking Mean Girls, Riley? No? All right, we got to get on out of here. 353 episodes in the can. Thank you to our sponsor today, UFC Fight Pass. I spent so much time on that application. I would encourage you to do the same. Thank you to our guest, Brian Petrie and Ray Longo. Next week, Sean Sheehan's back, folks. Yup. Diving on in, more scoring talk. Of course, he has more to offer to the space than just that, but it's a perspective that I think has too much value to ignore. So Sean Sheehan will be back on the program next week, and we will also get you ready for UFC 276, Adesanya versus Cannonier. Don't forget, KennyFlorianMartialArts.com if you want to get into that world. A lot of really good stuff on that website. Millions.co for the One More Sleep merchandise. Limited edition city-themed Las Vegas t-shirts for One More Sleep are up right now. And the broader merchandise for the podcast, like the shirt Ken Flo's wearing, not now, but right now, AnikFlorianPodcast.com. FAM15, these fucking promo codes. Cody, is it AF15? I don't know. There's a promo code if you want some. FAM15. Got it right the first time, AnikFlorianPodcast.com. Thank you all for indulging us. Ken Flo, you got anything else to say to the masses before we get on out of here? Happy Father's Day, maybe.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody. We got a couple PFL cards. So the day before, Friday night? The Friday night fights for the next couple weeks. PFL on ESPN. That's it.
This Friday night. Where are you going to be?
Yes.
Atlanta, Georgia again?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Look at
Same
this
place.
fucking guy. South Carolina to Atlanta, South Carolina to Atlanta.
Yeah.
You want to go to Singapore? A little further?
That's pretty far.
Well, we'll see you Friday night, and obviously back here on Sunday for another edition of the podcast. But thank you all for listening, subscribing, watching, and tell your friends. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you all. Yo, later.